is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening, everybody. It's Friday night, and it's May 27, and it's exactly 9:02 p.m. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Good evening, everybody. If you're watching from the Pacific, and if you're watching from in the Philippines, it is Saturday at 12 noon. Magandang tanghali sa inyong lahat. And if you're watching us from different parts of the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope you are blessed while you're watching our show today. Congratulations again. A little admin lang po. We have now, Philippines right now has a new president. It was really proclaimed this week, and it is none other than Ferdinand Bongbong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and with the Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, and they were proclaimed this week. And I understand that the inauguration or acceptance would be done for Sara Duterte. It's going to be June 19 in Davao, while they're still talking about Bongbong Marcos inauguration for June. They will both supposedly be inaugurated historically June 30, 2022. That being said, yun po ang medyo sa politics natin a little bit on that, touching that. Live na live po tayo right now on PHLB Radio Facebook page, also PHLB YouTube channel. So if you are not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? What you could do is like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any of the shows of PHLB Radio, including, of course, my two shows. If you have Amazon Fire TV, please do watch. What you do is you just look for PHLB TV channel, or if you have Alexa, just say, Alexa, play PHLB Radio. Now, if you are doing we are also live on audio streaming through different podcasts, namely Google Podcasts, Amazon Google, I can't even speak today. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And those people who are watching and were wondering if we miss or you miss any of the show, or if you want to replay any of the shows that we have at PHLB Radio, no problem at all and no worries. All you have to do is go back to PHLB Radio YouTube channel. Everything is already on a playlist. Or you could always definitely check our website, which is www.phlbradio.com. But before we start on our wonderful, wonderful show today, wow, si Lawrence Calderon. Hi, Lawrence. Lawrence Calderon is one of the premier singer of his generation. You have to catch this guy. He could really, really, really sing, and he's really one of those that God's is blessed with amazing voice, and you could watch him in different platform or streaming platforms. Okay, and hopefully, Lawrence, you could type in your contact information and where to find you. I know Lawrence used to be on sessions, I believe. I don't know if you're still doing sessions, but I know you could see Lawrence in different platforms. Happy viewing to Gina Marcos watching from Laguna. And he said, hi, Kuya Josh. Hello, Gina. How are you as well? Okay. A lot of you are asking, why are we doing the different churches and different iconic churches a couple of weeks ago, and now we're doing a tour in some ways? Because just to let you know, May 25th was or is Padre Pio's birthday. So for the Catholic world, especially the Padre Pio's believer, it talaga pong dinudumog. As a matter of fact, there are three major locations where normally the believers would flock in and would visit. And that is the one in Libis, Padre Pio's shrine in Libis, Quezon City, the one in the shrine of Padre Pio in Batangas, and of course the where the real Padre Pio body lies, yung uncorrupted body of Padre Pio is located in San Giovanni, Italy. So with that said, we're gonna give you a tour of, and this is really as we saw it and we videotape it. So we're gonna visit the Padre Pio and we'll show you how it looks on the real Padre Pio. It's not a replica, it's the real deal. And then right after that, we're going to show you, we'll take you to Montserrat, Spain, to show you the Black Madonna, or it's not Madonna the singer, but it's the Blessed Virgin as depicted to be, and you'll see why they call it the Black Madonna. And then from there, we're going to go to Naples and Sorrento, and of course, we're gonna visit the mysterious buried city of Pompeii. And then lastly, of course, a lot of the Christian world as well as the Catholic world had visited the Vatican City, and this is really for people who would like to visit again, but because of the pandemic, we're not able to do so. So with our own efforts, we will let you see that and view it as well. And with the hope, of course, that not only you would visit, but you will be blessed as you watch the show. So without much further ado, let's start now the tour of Padre Pio of San Giovanni, Italy. Okay, to go to Padre Pio, and we'll show you that this is the shrine as we as you enter or as you arrive at Padre Pio. It is really difficult to go there. From Rome, you have to take either a private car or you take a bus, and then it takes like 4 hours to get to the church. And this is the inside of the altar. What you're seeing right now is really the altar where Padre Pio held his masses when he was still alive. And this is the how it is depicted and how it is right now. Now you see the inside of the church, and yeah, it's very solemn. When we got there, it was so surreal. Not a lot of people were there when we got to the location. So, and it was difficult for us to find, because I was under the impression, based on the research that we did, that Padre Pio's body lies within that church, the original church, only to find out there's now a shrine built for him, and you'll see that. And it is outside of the original church, but it is behind it. Okay, and you'll see that. And as you enter this church, not the museum, but the church itself, you will see a display. May mga display po of the things that Padre Pio used, like the chalice, the cross, and a little history of his humble beginning and how he became Padre Pio. Padre Pio, also known as Padre Pio or Saint Pio of Pietrelcina, was an Italian prior. And one of the things that you need to understand is Padre Pio is one of the saints, there's only 2 of them, that had the stigmata. Stigmata is when it is described like they carried the 5 wounds of Jesus. Yung 5 sugat po ni Jesus, 2 sa paa, 2 sa kamay, at isa sa side ng kanyang katawan. And they call it stigmata. Nag-manifest po kay Padre Pio. And the other saints, if you're wondering who's the other saint, it's none other than Saint Francis of Assisi. So now you're seeing several pictures and things, memorabilia that Padre Pio used during his time. Yeah. Padre Pio was born as Francesco Forgione, and he was given the name Pius when he joined the orders of friars of minor Capuchin. So a lot of people are saying he's a Capuchin priest. So like what I said, he was born May 25th, 1887, and he died September 23rd, 1968. Okay? And this particular shrine is located in San Giovanni Rotondo in Italy. Yeah, that's the other things, the chairs that he used, and then it's all encased, or it would be to protect that. And then that's the bed that he used, what you're seeing right now. And you see a lot of prayer requests are being thrown because it is right in a case. It's like a cubicle, but you can see that's the actual. They didn't really change much. They just encased it with glass, so at least they could preserve the things of the freshness of the things, and so at least it doesn't corrode as fast. Okay, and those are the different chairs, upuan po, that was used. Ito po yung kanyang mga, in Filipino they call it abido, or the outfit of the church of the priest that was used by Padre Pio. And this is now some of the books that were used by Padre Pio, some of his favorite books and his favorite things, that medallions that he used. And then we'll show you some shoes that he wore during his time. And then that's the study. So it's really, I encourage people, if you have the chance, to go visit. And now we're seeing now the mausoleum, where you would really find Padre Pio. As you enter, there's the depiction of like a Station of the Cross, and then it's really solemn. And a lot of people, especially the non-Christian who are doing the tour, they find the place kind of eerie. But for Christians and for Catholic, it is so solemn, and this is leading to well, they call it a crypt, but this is really where it's like a church, a mini church, but the only you would find would be his body there for Christians and Catholics to pay the respect. And of course, this is the famous statue, and that's the outside of that museum or mausoleum, where and I'm showing you some of the things, the behind the scene and the background of the museum itself. It's a beautiful day when we went there. Super ganda ng araw po. And then of course there's the bells that, especially during Holy Week, they rang those bells, and to commemorate that the mass is being held, and they have the 3 o'clock and the 6 o'clock benedictions. Yeah, and then this is the entrance. This is the entrance as you go in to, so everything is in Italian, and you just need to be friendly to find it, because you would be under the impression at first that the body itself of Padre Pio would be on the original church. But like what I said earlier, it was another building that was built behind that original church. Yeah. And this is the stairs leading to that. And no worries, but if you are handicapped or you're having difficulty in walking, there's elevator also for the taking. Yeah, that's the one that we showed you earlier. Yeah, that's how it looks. That's the hallway leading to the body of Saint Padre Pio. Yeah, so there's a lot of murals on both sides depicting the things that you would see on the way to the body of Padre Pio. Okay. See, if you notice on the very center, ayan po, that's where Padre Pio is rested. Okay, ayun po, and that's really his body, his incorruptible body, as we see it, and you'll see in a minute that we could go as close as possible. So if you've been to the Libis shrine, and that's how it is, but in Libis, it is a replica, but this is the real deal, guys. So this is Padre Pio as he, and it's interesting that once you're there, firstly, not a lot, not people are not. You could take pictures, you could take video, but I didn't see anybody doing selfie, including myself. So this is as close as you could get. It's yeah. So you could tell that it's like he's just sleeping, okay, and no retouch or whatsoever. And this is really how it looks if you are there. And then yeah, so we took so many videos, so many pictures, and then this is the outside now. And as you could tell, it's already almost in the evening, because we got there at around 1 p.m. and then we stayed there the whole time. And then and this is the background. And then this is like, we spent almost like 5 hours there, because the last trip of the bus to go back to Rome would be at 5 o'clock p.m. So if you miss that bus, then you have no way other than to spend the evening there at San Giovanni Rotondo. I would suggest, though, for people who would visit to spend the night, it's much better that way, so you're not in a rush. There's a lot of restaurants and souvenir shops, and it's really a beautiful, quaint little place, the San Giovanni Rotondo. It's really, really beautiful, and there's so many things to see. Unfortunately, during this visit, it was a day trip for us, but moving forward, I would really definitely go back and spend the night, and hopefully soon. So I hope that, and that's the what we just shown you is the San Giovanni Rotondo Shrine of Padre Pio. Yun po. Yun ang ating first take on that. So before anything else, happy viewing to Chris Joy Marcos Sayas. How are you? And hopefully you're enjoying our show today. And those people who will be watching the replay, please do so. And hopefully happy viewing to everybody who will be doing the replay. And Juliet Marcos, hello as well. Hey, there's so many Marcos watching us today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And our next stop would be the Black Madonna, and this is located in Spain. And what we did was we went, of course, to our entry is through the port of Barcelona. It's in Barcelona, Spain. And then that's our entry point, and we'll show you part of that. Yun po, dun po kami nanggaling, because we took a cruise going to Barcelona for this. And then since we're already there, and this is the highlight of one of the highlights actually of the trip to Spain, was the stop to the Montserrat. It's the mountain of Montserrat, where you could find the Black Madonna. So you could see pictures right now of the port of Barcelona, Spain. You could tell that it is very clean, very, very orderly, and our wish is sometimes or someday that we would see the port of the Philippines being as beautiful as this one as well. Yan po ang Port Barcelona, Spain. Yan. So, and then it was already a decision for our group to go and since we're already there, might as well visit the Black Lady or the Black Madonna in Montserrat. Yeah. We're just showing you different areas of the port. And so it is so, and this was taken so early in the morning, so you could tell hindi pa siya masyadong maliwanag. It's kinda, and then the day that we went there, it was kinda gloomy day for us. Yeah, as you drive into Spain, to Barcelona, you'll see these are the streets, and they're pretty well kept. And then of course there's a lot of iconic buildings, and this is almost a. Oh, by the way, that picture you're seeing right now, that's the university where our national hero Jose Rizal went. Yeah, that's the university in Barcelona. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is now the Catalonia, Spain, and that's where the Montserrat. Yeah, so we have to go up that mountain to be able to visit and to go to the Black Madonna. And that what you're seeing right now are the different areas of Catalonia. Yeah, we have to go out all the way to the mountains to be able to get to that place. So it was quite a drive, and the best way to get there is either public transportation or you hire a private vehicle to get there, because it is quite a trek. So that's the Montserrat Basilica where the lady is located. Okay, and that's how it looks during the day. And there's a lot of people, a lot of believers, worshippers, and patrons of the lady. So it is perched. Yeah, so this is the basilica where it is enshrined. Okay, the Black Madonna is sometimes referred to by other names, including the Virgin of Montserrat and La Moreneta. Okay? The statue sits behind a street of glass. However, one of the hands that is holding a spear, which symbolizes the universe, is not behind the glass. It is a tradition for you to kiss or touch the Virgin's hand, which meaning or signifies or symbolizes that you're giving your hand out to Jesus. And when you go inside the church, you'll see the Black Madonna right there at the very center of that, and there's a line on your right or to your right where you line up so you could go as close as possible to the Virgin. Mm-hmm. And we'll have a close-up that in a minute. You will see that well, for obvious reason, they call it the Black Lady or the Lady of Montserrat, because it's black in color, and it's very miraculous. And a lot of people had mentioned that if you wished, whatever wish you say to this lady or to the Lady of Montserrat, without a doubt, it will be given to you. It will be blessed, regardless what it is. And this is the hallway going or leading to the lady itself. Yeah, so it says Our Lady of Montserrat, the Black Madonna. Yeah, so there's quite a line. It took us almost 2 hours to line up. See, you can tell the people are lining up. You go from the outside, from the foyer, you go all the way up to the altar where you could find the lady. And on the way there, you line up. On the way there, left and right, there'll be some statues of saints and some paintings and in the murals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, by the altar, there's a mass going on as well. During that time, we were very hesitant to take videos because of some protocols. So we just managed to take as much pictures as possible. Yeah, see, these are depictions of the different church and the different saints that are located in different areas of Spain. And this is leading, all of what you're seeing right now on screen is really leading into the altar. And the altar is way, way up, because that's how the Black Madonna is being displayed. It's behind a glass. So it's well, you could tell there's no people on that particular one, simply because we're the last one on the line. And this is how the Black Madonna looks like. And of course, there's some statue of other things. So what you're seeing right now is the Black Madonna, and we'll have a close-up of that in a minute. Okay, and then of course, just like a tradition, you could lit up a candle, stuff like that. And then you make your wish. And then as you get out of the chapel, then there will be dozens of believers that who are paying their respects, and this is the outside of the chapel or the church. It's really beautiful. It's one of a kind, and again, if you will be in the future, or you are located, or you would be having a chance to be in Barcelona, I suggest to make a stop and one of a kind, the Black Lady of Madonna. Okay, now our next stop, and hopefully you're still enjoying your viewing of our show, and we just did the Padre Pio Shrine in Padre Pio in San Giovanni, and now we're moving to the beautiful city of Naples in Italy. Okay? And the reason why we went to Naples is because we want to visit Pompeii. Okay? So that's how Naples looked like during early morning when we arrived. And this was taken in the veranda. And this is now, what you're seeing now is on our way to Pompeii. Like what I said, this is going to Pompeii, which is the buried city of Pompeii. Pompeii is famous for being the city that disappeared. And I think there was a movie that was made, a Hollywood movie, and then it kind of give you a history of what happened. Pompeii was destroyed because of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius on August 24, 79. Just after midday on August 24, fragments of ash and other volcanic debris began pouring down on Pompeii, quickly covering the city to a depth of more than 9 feet or 3 meters. Naples is 2 hours south of Rome. It's the largest city in southern Italy. Now you'll see also we're passing through Sorrento. Yan, kita nyo po. It's really beautiful. So if you have a chance, now that travel is open, feel free to go. It's not that expensive, and of course, it's a one time experience. It's a lifetime experience to be able to go there. And since if you're already there, oh, by the way, as far as food, try Naples pizza. It's the best ever that you would taste in your life. For some reason, maybe it's the water, but it's way better than New York pizza. It's way better from any pizza that one would have consumed in their lifetime. Yeah. What we're showing po is a video on the streets leading to Sorrento and Posati. And we did this on the way because to be able to go to Pompeii, you have to go through all these cities before you could get there. So like what I've said earlier, just like we did with Barcelona and what we did also in Rome with Padre Pio, we took a private vehicle. We rented one. So it's easier for us to go from place to place as opposed to take the public transportation. So if you notice, Naples is really an old city, so with iconic buildings. Yeah, now what you're seeing now is the Rotonda of Sorrento in Italy. Okay, Sorrento is located on the Amalfi Coast at the southeastern terminus of the rail line with easy access from Naples and Pompeii. The town is widely known for its small ceramic, lacework, and woodwork shops. Kita nyo po. Then we saw also, what you're seeing right now is the Church of Sorrento. So it's really a nice stroll that day, and this is really good, a good walk So I would suggest, if ever you're going to be going there, make sure that you wear comfortable shoes. Avoid those high heels and slippers, because that's going to be quite tough because of it's the distance from place to place. So a rubber shoes or sneakers will be the best choice for you to wear, or any casual wear that has a good sole, a rubber sole, so it would have some traction, because some of the roads are kind of slippery, especially when it's raining or when it's wet. Okay, right after Sorrento, you will see Pompeii. Like what we said, that is the buried city of Pompeii. Yan po. Pompeii to me reminds me of Intramuros. But imagine, this was a city, Pompeii is a city that was buried because of the eruption. So it was totally wiped out, and they were buried with ashes. So what you're seeing right now are the columns of the houses and the villages, and things that were left. And then excavation are still being done, and you'll see that in a minute, because they're trying to preserve the city. And you'll see it is so surreal to be in that moment. Imagine a city buried in ashes at the time. Comparable po parang what happened in Zambales on Lahar. So that's almost the same, but this one, it buried the whole city. And it's kind of, I would say during my time, it was eerie when we visited it, because especially for people who have a gift of third eye, you hear sounds, you hear screams, but that's for another story, for another show. And so that is the panoramic view of the city of Pompeii. So you could walk around. It's a day tour, and then you could have as many pictures and video as much. And then of course, the locals would ask you to say a little prayer for the lost souls, and this is really one of the main attractions that they have. And millions of people would visit Pompeii because of the history. Yeah. And so there's a lot of history, especially the Italy, the country of Italy. There's so many places that you could see, you could walk, and that especially if you are really into that era, into that, especially if you want to see those things that you only read in books, especially during your high school or your college. And there's so much to see, and just in Italy alone. Italy and Spain are very historic for me. Now, our last stop would be, of course, if you go to Rome, you would definitely need to see the Vatican, where it is a city by itself, and we're going to show that in a minute. So that was our last stop for this trip, would be the Vatican. Yeah, and it, of course, you would not and should not miss the St. Peter's Basilica. Yeah. So what we did that we took the day tour, and then we were able to go into the different areas of the basilica. So you could do the tour, or you could do your self tour, and you go to the different chambers of that. And then one of the highlight, which you could see, there's a lot of people visiting that day that we were there, leading to the Sistine Chapel, But for the Sistine Chapel, you are not allowed to take pictures because they said the flashes, the acidity of the items can corrode some of the paintings, the murals there. But of course, some people yun po ang Sistine Chapel, would still do their thing. Like most of the visitors would take pictures secretly, of course, because or else they would confiscate the camera or the cell phone from you. And this is the altar po at St. Peter's Basilica. And so there's a lot of people in there. And then, of course, there's the statue of the Blessed Virgin and the Holy Family. It's very solemn, regardless whether there's so many people. This place is so solemn, and you could hear, you could not hear a pin drop, seriously, and it's just a murmur of people praying. It's so solemn. It is unbelievably. I'm lost of a word for a better description, but I felt like I'm so close to the Creator when you are in there, that you tend to look back at your life and you just want to be good. Gusto mo lang maging mabait. Yeah, so we're seeing right now as we see and see closer this altar. We were hoping we would have taken some videos, but at the time we ran out of juices or power in our cameras, so we tried to get as close by video, by picture. We wanted live sana, but again, it's taking so much of the power of our cameras and our cell phones. So this one, you really have to see this live, because this is like the Holy Eucharist, and then you'll see these people. Parang it's a mankind reaching out for God. Now, what you're seeing now is the outside of the Vatican at night. Ginabi na po kami while we were there, and this is how it looks in the evening. And so beautiful. This is where Pope Francis would do his Mass on every Sunday. And then this is also where he was proclaimed as Pope, and all the other popes before him. So my wish to you is for you, our viewers and our listeners, to be able to go and see this live, because it is important also, especially for the Catholic world. This is like a wish, a destination, so to speak, that as Christian, as Catholic, this is a place that one would like to visit, because this is the heart of Catholicism, and this is the seat and the site where the Pope, the descendant of St. Peter, that's why they call it St. Peter Basilica. Yeah, a little video there. And this is already outside of St. Peter's Basilica. As you can tell, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of tourists, a lot of people doing their pilgrimage. Ito po a little side trip naman, yung Fountain de Trevi, or the Trevi Fountain. Again, this is also in Rome, and this is the very famous, iconic fountain where people would toast their coins and make a wish. And as you could tell, not a lot of people that night, because it was done in the evening. But during the daytime, super puno at super siksikan po ang Fountain de Trevi. Yeah. And these are the streets leading to Fountain de Trevi. You could tell, even though this was taken in the evening, it is very quiet, and it's very clean. Surprisingly, people are very disciplined to do their trashes. Yan po. This is the day naman, so we went back the following day, and this is the the road leading to St. Peter's Basilica. So thousands and thousands of people, especially tourists, would go there and pay a visit. Then on the outskirts of the Basilica, we did the Coliseo, okay? And that's where we went. We did a side trip. We did a sightseeing. And hopefully you guys are enjoying this. And this is the famous Colosseum and the columns. Yeah. And this one is a good story because you're really technically not allowed to go in there. But we were lucky that day that we know someone who works there and we were able to get in. We were not able to take as many pictures because we don't want to attract attention. This one is so kind of interesting because this is how they prepare food in Italy. I didn't know that this is included in the file. So this one is the truffle. This one is amazing. What you're seeing right now is the homemade tiramisu. So it's the authentic tiramisu compared to what we see or what we have in the Philippines or even the United States. So this is prepared right in front of you, and everything is fresh from the cream that they use to the molasses that they use, and even to the fresh milk and to the truffles that they use to make the tiramisu. So it is quite a sight to see how it's made from scratch compared to what we normally would see, that it's like a cake-like. Yeah. But this is how really a tiramisu is prepared and how it looks. If you have a chance, this is a must try. And this was located in one of the quaint streets of Rome. Yeah. Now this one is how it is being prepared naman po. Yan, they put it your pasta is put in a bowl of cheese where it's made. So this is where so it is so amazingly delicious. It's a truffle pasta on cheese. So this was wala po siyang mga, how we prepare our pasta. There's so much ingredients on them. This particular one, wala. It's just cheese and truffles, but it tastes heavenly. Yeah, these are the streets of Italy, the streets of Rome. You could tell, just like any other cities in the world, it's also traffic. Yeah. Now, if you ask me, are they very friendly? Yes, they are. The Italians are very loving people. They're very close-knit as a family, and they are very touchy-feely, meaning they like to hug, they like to kiss each other. So yeah, and now what you're seeing on screen now is the Spanish Steps. Okay, a lot of movies were filmed here. A lot of movies were. Most of the Mission Impossible, especially if you've seen some of the movies of Sophia Loren, those are things that you would see, places that you have seen. So the buildings are very iconic. Buildings are well visited, well kept, because they're really very tourist friendly. And I'm hoping that soon, in the near future, we could have something like that or something like this also in the Philippines, because we have so much things to show and to exhibit and to display as well for people, not only Filipinos, but for everybody to enjoy. But these are the little things. One of the things that was so interesting is they are very friendly to tourists. They're very accommodating for people to be able to spend time and just walk around. Unlike in some other countries I visited, they're cold. They're not as accommodating to tourists, but Italy or in the Italians, they're very welcoming, especially Rome, because of the influx or the many people who would go there, and the tourists who would flock to the Vatican, especially on Sundays, especially when Pope Francis would have his mass. This now what you're seeing is the video of Fountain de Trevi taken at night. You can tell it's very quiet, so I would say, and I would highly recommend, if you're going to visit Rome, do it, not only do the day trip, but do the night trip as well, because then you have a better view, and you could really absorb the serenity of the place, and you could really enjoy the scenery as one would like to spend time. These are the different murals, different statues, different monuments that you could see around Italy. So every spot, if I may say, if you're a tourist, every little corner, nooks and cranny of the city, it's really Instagrammable, and you just have to fight it off with the people. Because especially now that it's open again, travel is widely open, and if you're coming from parts of the United States, you could go to Italy for $250 round trip on a given day. So, and that's coming from Los Angeles to Rome is $250 round trip on coach or economy. So yun po, that's really our brief visit to Padre Pio. That's our visit also to the Black Lady of Madonna in Montserrat, Spain. And of course, we visited also Pompeii. And our last stop was Rome, of course, the famous Vatican Basilica, St. Peter's Basilica. And hopefully you enjoy our show for today. We did it intentionally because of the feast of to celebrate and to observe the birthday of Padre Pio. Most people call him Papa P. It's not the other actor, but it's Padre Pio. So yun po ang ating munting show today. If you have any question, feel free to put your comments. If you have any other suggestions of things that you'd like to see. Our next stop in the future will be Greece. We will have this time hopefully a better videos and more videos than pictures of the Mykonos and then Santorini. And hopefully we could again visit Padre Pio after the pandemic. And looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing you. Tomorrow will be our Alam Mo Ba with Jush Andowitt. Tomorrow will be our Dear Kuya Josh, Dear Ate Jen. I apologize because I'm kind of on the days. I'm kind of still woozy. As people would have known, I just arrived from a trip. It's a long trip, and I'll tell you more about it. But I am still so jet lagged. I was just telling the owner of PHLV Radio, Johan, that I'm still in the days. I'm still floating, and it's been 3 days already. But as they have said, the show must go on. So next week I'll have another guest, and I know surely you will enjoy our lineup of guests in the succeeding weeks. But I cannot thank you enough for your continued support of Alam Mo Ba with Jush Andowitt, but of course the other shows of PHLV Radio. It is important that you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you won't miss any of our shows. So yun na lang po. I hope and I pray that watching and listening to our show today, not only you enjoyed it, but you are blessed as well, the way we were blessed. So like before closing any of the show, I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. It's 10 p.m. in the Pacific, and it's going to be 1 p.m. in the Philippines, and for other parts of the world, depending on your time zone. It's for our show, the Ate Jen. It's Dear Kuya Josh, Ate Jen. The topic tomorrow, just watch for the announcement because I have to name po kung ano yung magandang topic for tomorrow. So with that, maraming salamat po for watching the show today. If I'm kinda like struggling, is because I am so jet lagged, but I enjoyed having this show with you, being able to be with you in this short of time. Maraming salamat po, and I wish you all the best for this coming week. God bless us all, and my message to everyone every time that I close the show is be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness, and any act of kindness that you do to people, it will come back to you in so many ways in different times. And with that, good night, good evening, good morning, good afternoon world. Maraming salamat po. Hanggang sa muli. Goodbye everybody.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PA